'cause there will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time.
Hey guys, and welcome on in to another episode of Getting Well with Terry and Friends, free NHL picks. I'm Terry, ready to break down today's slate. Of course, we'll get into the recap of what happened on Monday, and then maybe talk a little briefly about the trade deadline, because we had some trades, a lot of trades yesterday, which is a little surprising that they all happened yesterday. And we'll see what actually happens on the trade deadline, because I know last year a lot of the trades happened beforehand, and the trade deadline day was kind of boring. So we'll see what happens there, but we'll jump into what happened on Monday, and then we'll get into the standings and then talk about the show. First up, St. Louis Blues, Philadelphia Flyers. Flyers money line loser, Tyson Forster anytime goal loser. The Flyers. A tough team for me to get right this year. I seem to be on the wrong side of the Flyers a lot. I hope that's not the case tonight. Here in this one, I really hope people were able to get the 5.5, because it was a big difference. Obviously, a winner or a push. These games always go over 6.5. This game finished with 6 goals. So the over 5.5 was a winner. Florida got the win. The draw did not happen. So a loser there in the draw. Boston and Toronto. Boston Bruins own the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's just how it is. 7 consecutive wins now. Heading into tonight's game. We actually get to discuss Boston and Toronto today. So we'll get to that in a bit later. Vegas continues to lose, losing and getting their ass handed to them actually here by Columbus. Not a good game there for the Vegas Golden Knights. Blackhawks, Colorado Avalanche under 6, 5-0 win for the Avalanche there. So a nice winner, nice plus money cash there in that one. And then the Kraken and the Flames. The Flames lost, unfortunately. This Kraken team is not giving up. And this Flames team is one that I think we're going to start to see go downhill coming up here. And then, unfortunately, the parlay of the day, Jonathan Marchessault was unable to get a point for Vegas. Reinhart did his job, but Marchessault did not. Taking a look at how the standings look heading into today's slate. First place in the NHL, first place in the East and the Atlantic is the Florida Panthers with 90 points. Boston has 87. Toronto in third with 80. In the Metro, Rangers in first with 84. Carolina with 78. Philadelphia there with 72. The 2 wildcard teams, Detroit and Tampa, both with 72. The Islanders with 68. 61 games played, 4 points behind Philadelphia, 2 games in hand. And the Islanders play San Jose tonight. So Philadelphia, who is not buying and is selling, is great news for Islanders fans like Nicholas Earl. I'm sure is super happy right now because Philadelphia selling, and the Islanders can definitely catch up here. Detroit continues to lose. Losing Larkin is a big loss for Detroit, so we'll see if they can hold their playoff spot. But in the East, when a week or so ago it was looking like almost a settled deal here, things are changing and spots are opening here in the East. Washington there was 65, Pittsburgh and New Jersey was 64, Buffalo was 63, and then the bottom 3 in the Eastern Conference. Ottawa Senators, I did not have them last night, and I will not bet on Ottawa the rest of the year. They had an absolutely beautiful opportunity yesterday to beat up an Anaheim team that had all their scorers out basically, except for Frank Vatrano. who only got no shots on goal, actually. So Frank Petrano, their only goal scorer, didn't even get a shot on goal, and Ottawa still found a way to lose this game. So the Ottawa Senators are not a team I'm going to be looking at whatsoever the rest of the season. They're on a banned list just because there's no reason to bet on them in my mind. 40 live viewers, thanks everyone for watching. We'll get to the show here in a bit. Dallas in first with 85, Winnipeg and Colorado both with 83. Nice close race here in the Central. Vancouver with 87, quite a bit ahead of Edmonton and LA. We no longer see Vegas in the top three in the Pacific. In the wild card spots, Vegas and Nashville both with 73. St. Louis, Seattle both with 67. Calgary with 65. Minnesota with 64. And then we've got the bottom teams in the Western Conference. We will jump into the chat briefly, and then we will. Oh, yeah, I guess I should briefly talk about the trade deadline here. Obviously, if you have not seen the show, or if you've not watched the show before, I gave the Florida Panthers here to win the Stanley Cup, plus 1,000 on Thursday, February 15th. Now they're plus 700, plus 800 last time I looked, and this team continues to Bill Zito continues to work magic. Getting Vladimir Tarasenko, not giving up a prospect, didn't give up a first, didn't give up a second, and was able to add Vladimir Tarasenko was a huge addition. And then today, to re-sign one of their most important defensemen at a ridiculously low price. I'm getting the exact numbers here. Gustav Forsling for 8 years at $5.75 million a year. With the cap going up over the next few years, that is an excellent extension. This Florida Panthers team, if I was a Florida Panthers fan right now, I'd be pretty darn happy because this team is just working magic right now. So nothing but positive things for me to say about the Florida Panthers. If I wasn't a Wild fan right now, hey, could potentially be a Florida fan with how things have gone this year and with what their management is doing. Good day, Terry. To you as well, Captain Brian. Tarasenko, yes, on the top line. We'll be discussing him here in a bit. The trade screwed me over on betting yesterday. Yes, the trade deadline here these next few days could be kind of wonky with different things here. Since I bet the night before, the trades reversed the results. Yeah. Careful saying these games always. Well, they always do until it ends. Streaks eventually will end. Terry and friends. Hello, Addison. Hope all is well. So you're saying my Isles have a chance? Haha. Hey, normally, if you watch the show, I'm not really saying a whole lot of positive things about the Islanders, but they certainly do have a chance. They do. They certainly do. Ottawa got that road goal in first 10, though, and the goal in first 5. There you go. So at least they did something right. Yeah, I got bamboozled into picking Ottawa team total as well. Talk about psychology checked out. Geez. Yeah, that game, even though I wasn't on it, just made it perfectly clear to me I have no intention of putting my money on the Ottawa Senators. Because if they can't show up in that spot, when are they going to show up? Unless they face Toronto in the near future, because they would get up for that game. I saw that nice. The Forsling deal is just. Bill Zito is just an awesome general manager. These are some good prices on teams to win the cup as well. What other futures would you buy? Colorado, Vegas? I don't know about the West. I do not know about the West. I want to look at the Dallas Stars, but their goaltending right now is just absolutely awful. But I do believe if Dallas can get things together, they could be extremely dangerous in the playoffs. Vegas looks awful right now, but they're pretty much adding everybody with Mark Stone's LTIR. I won't discuss the LTIR because that could go on for an hour. I guess I'll briefly just say I know people are saying that it's not a bad thing, that they're not breaking any rules. But do we really want to go down this route where teams start resting top players for a month or two, saying they're injured to go around the cap? Before you know it, Matthews isn't playing. McKinnon isn't playing, and we have all these top players not playing because of LTO. I just think it's not a good look for the league, in my opinion. But yeah, in the West, it's tough. It's tough for me to pick somebody. I tailed your Panthers to win the cup moment you announced it for plus 1,000. Yeah, and that's gone now. You're not going to get plus 1,000 anymore. So I would still take it at plus 700, plus 800. I know it's a big difference, but this Panthers team is just uh, they're going to win. And yes, I do. I think they're going to win the President's Trophy, but I still like them to win the cup. They're the team I think that could break the President's Trophy curse. So I'm not really as I was worried about them winning the President's Trophy, but I'm not anymore, just because of how they are. Diversify the futures portfolio. Yes, but I'm not really a futures guy. I'm not. I don't really bet a lot of futures. So um, I won't go heavy on the futures, but I wanted a ticket with Florida and I got it. So Isles, yeah, keep an eye on the Isles right now. They could sneak into a spot, but then likely have to face Florida. So or the Rangers. I know Nick would love an Isles Rangers first round series. Avs plus 475 or up to plus 800 for the West. There you go. Meaningful games tonight with wild card implications: Calgary, Tampa, St. Louis, New Jersey, Islanders, San Jose, Buffalo, Nashville. And I'm on one of those two games. There you go. Isles want Florida. No, they don't. They definitely don't. Because Florida, the Islanders, we've always known them as a defensive team. They aren't this year. But Florida's got the defense to match the Islanders. Florida's got the offense and the goaltending. Florida's just, um, they can match anything the Islanders put out there. But we will go on to the first game of the slate because we got 12 games to talk about today. And we will jump right into the first one here, which is between Edmonton Oilers and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Edmonton minus 245 to minus 270. Columbus plus 215 to plus 229. 6.5s and 7s available here in this game. Looking at goaltenders, Daniil Tarasov confirmed for Columbus. Calvin Pickard confirmed for Edmonton in this game. Calvin Pickard, 8-3 in the year, 2.4 goals against average, 909 save percentage. Surprisingly, he's played very well pretty much all year long for the Oilers. So it's not a downgrade having him in net instead of Skinner, in my opinion. How these teams been doing recently: Edmonton 7-2-1 their last 10 games. Up and down when it comes to totals. So they were on that under streak where it was just defense, defense, defense for Edmonton during their win streak. Then when their win streak ended, it was overs galore. And now we're back to unders again. 1 over, 3 unders. One game finished with 6 goals in their last 5. So with a total 7 for their last 5 under. Columbus has won 5 of their last 10. So 5-5 over their last 10. 4 overs, 2 unders, 2 games finished with 6. So again, to a total of 7. 4 overs, potentially. I don't know if there's any pushes in there. Didn't cap this at a 7. So how these teams played against each other in the past: Edmonton 6-2-1 in the last 9 meetings. 6 of the last 9 going under 5.5. So for me, when it comes to a total, I would be looking at the under 6.5 if I was going to bet the total here in this game. But I'm not. I'm on 2 player props here. Zach Hyman, anytime goal, plus 120. And Adam Henrique, over half a point, minus 115. Hyman, a goal in 7 of his last 9 games. Mr. Consistent on that top line with McDavid. And no longer Leon Draisaitl. It'll now be Nugent Hopkins on that top line. And then Adam Henrique is playing with Leon Draisaitl on the second line. and as well as Evander Kane. Henrique had a point in 4 of his 5 games before being traded here. And he wasn't playing with Leon Draisaitl, that's for sure. Now he gets to come in here, first game with the Oilers on the road in Columbus, facing this Columbus team. Minus 115, a great price to get a point here. I believe he'll continue his recent play here in an Oilers uniform. And you've got to imagine how he's feeling playing with Anaheim and just being on a disaster team for most of the season, a team that's going to be getting a top pick. And now he's getting traded to Edmonton and he gets to play with Leon Draisaitl. I'm sure Henrique is pretty happy right now. So give me him to find the score sheet. Give me Hyman anytime goal. Looking at other player props, McDavid has an assist in 12 straight games, 2 or more points in 10 of his last 12. Draisaitl, a point in 10 of his last 12 games. Evan Bouchard, an assist in 5 of his last 6 games. For Columbus, Jack Roslovic, a point in 4 of his last 6. Zach Werenski, an assist in 4 straight games. Alex Nylander, a point in 3 of his last 4. Fortunately, Nylander point prop isn't available. Alex Nylander, you'd have to take him for a goal, which he has been scoring goals, but I don't like it enough to jump on it. I think Edmonton obviously does most of the scoring here in this game. Got here late. Dang nabbit. Good luck today, Terry and chat. Hey, no problem. We're on the first game. You just missed pregame stuff. Isles want the Rangers. That would be a nice series to see. It would. That would be good for hockey. To see the battle in New York. The New York Islanders score over 3.5 tonight, being this heavy of favorites and traveling from East Coast to West Coast. We'll talk about that game at the end of the slate. We'll get to it. Columbus team total over 2.5 and full game over 6.5. All right. Oh, so you got the 6.5 at minus 130. Now it's a 7. Pass. All right. I'm on Panthers money line, minus 112, 25% boost. Oilers puck line, Caps money line, Blues money line, Kings and Reg, Wild money line, Canes puck line, Lightning and Reg, Canucks money line. Wow. Okay, lots of plays there from Stop Geo. And I agree with some. of those. McDavid over 1.5 points is minus 120. I love that. Draisaitl anytime goal plus 115. Werenski assists plus 120. And you're staying off Hyman. All right. Pick McDavid over 1.5 points at minus 115. Really good price, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. Also got under 6.5 for Panthers Flyers plus 100. Nice price there. And the draw and Bruins Leafs. We'll talk about those games. No, there's only one Kirill to thrill, Nicholas, and it is not Marchenko. But if he wants to score, that's fine. Added into the lineup here, back in the lineup for tonight's game. So we'll see what happens. This line assumes 5-2 Edmonton versus Columbus, in my opinion, pass. Columbus players playing for contracts and point benchmarks. Yeah, nothing really motivating for Columbus. I've got a pretty good big card today. All right. Edmonton first road game. I don't think they take this game seriously and use it as an exposition. All right. Boone Jenner for Columbus, anytime point, anytime goal. Best of luck. 60 live viewers. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I think that's the most that I've ever seen on the show. So thank you, everyone, for watching. I really appreciate it. We'll jump into the second game of the night, which is between the Calgary Flames and the Tampa Bay Lightning here in this one. Calgary plus 125 to plus 133. Tampa Bay minus 147 to minus 155. 6.5s right across the board here in this game. How these teams been doing recently? Calgary 5-4 in their last 9. 3 overs, 1 under, 2 games finished with 6 goals. Tampa Bay 3-4-1 in their last 8. 5 overs, 2 unders, 2 games finished with 6 goals. Back-to-back overtime games for the Lightning. So they've been playing close games lately. How these teams done against each other in the past? Calgary's won 3 of the last 4, but Tampa Bay's won 4 in a row in Tampa Bay. 5 overs, 3 unders, 1 game finished with 6 goals. And for me, my only play is Braden Point anytime goal plus 140. I like the plus 140 price for Point. He has a goal in 7 of his last 9 games, at least 3 shots on goal in 8 of his last 9, a point in 9 straight games for the Lightning. He's been Mr. Consistent, plays with Nikita Kucherov, point 16 of his last 17, 3 shots on goal in 8 of his last 10. Brandon Hagel, who we have enjoyed betting on, especially in the parlay of the day, is being moved to the second line. So Steven Stamkos is on the top line. Hagel's put on the second line, and Hagel's on the second power play too. So I don't know what Brandon Hagel did to piss off John Cooper, but he's been demoted. So I'm not really looking at Hagel. He does have a point in 15 of his last 16 games. So he definitely could get in the score sheet here. I just don't like that he's not in that top line anymore. For the Flames, only player really consistent is Nazem Kadri. Point in 5 of his last 6 games. Nobody else is all that consistent for Calgary right now. And as I said, the Flames, obviously a team that is selling, and not a team I want to bet on really. And then Tampa Bay, fighting for their wild card lives, but just not looking like the Tampa Bay in the past. So, and obviously, I believe they're what -150 favorite. So, a pass from a side or total aspect, but I'll take Braden Point here to find the back of the net. Boone Jenner, anytime point or goal. All right, all right. Bolts puck line. Okay. So IceX likes the Bolts to take care of business. Nick says not so fast. He's on Flames money line. Tampa Bay is fade material right now. I kind of agree, and that's why I'm staying off this game. Point, anytime goal, and sprinkle on the draw. All right, best of luck. IceX not impressed with Nick, but hey, it's easy not to be impressed with Nick. When Bolts flamed away last week, they played very well in their first 2 games after plenty of rest. Then they run out of gas after game 2. Maybe they're showing their age. Maybe their big guns are showing their age. Anytime goal, yes. Especially with backups against the wall. There you go. Isn't Calgary decimated? Yeah. Their defense is pretty bad now without. So Rasmus Anderson and Mackenzie Weegar on the top pair. Good. Oliver Kylington, Braden Paschal on the second pair, Dennis Gilbert and Joel Hamley on the third pair. So the Flames defense has taken obviously a big hit thanks to trades. Jacob Markstrom will have his work cut out for him here in this one. Coop going back to his Ferraris. Point and Cooch are the only two who could save them. Desperately need Hedman and Stammer to produce. Yeah, I would leave Hagel there. He's playing well. Hey, Terry just got here. Lightning can't lose this game. All in on the Bolts. Okay. And yeah, they need to worry because the Islanders are right there. Now, the way things are looking, the Islanders are more probably looking to get into that Philadelphia spot. And actually, talking about it earlier, if that's the case, they wouldn't face the Rangers. So we'll see what happens there. Calgary roster is still fine. I don't know. And they're definitely a tough roster when it comes to player props just because they do have their production spread out across the lineup. So really the only Flame consistent is Nazem Kadri, their best player this season. But we'll move on along to my favorite game of the night. We've got the Philadelphia Flyers plus 185 to plus 208. Heading to Florida minus 225 to minus 240. Sixes right across the board here in this game. How have these teams been doing recently? Philadelphia 3-4-2 in their last 9, 3 overs, 1 under, 1 game, finished with 6 goals. Florida 16-2 in their last 18. They just continue to win games. 5 of their last 8 going under 5.5. How have these teams done against each other? Well, Philadelphia's actually had success recently against the Panthers, winning the last three between the teams. Florida's 3-1 in the last four in Florida. So they've had success against the Flyers in Florida. For the last five, going over 6.5. So previous meetings going over. The Flyers are going over right now, but Florida is a heavy under team with such a strong defense and strong goaltending for the Panthers. Looking at player props, Konechny does not appear to be back yet, so that we'll see when he does return. Tyson Forster's gone a bit cold. He does have at least 3 shots in goal in 4 of his last 6. Sam Reinhart, a point 8 of 10 for the Panthers, a goal in 4 straight games. Carter Verhaeghe, an assist in 7 of his last 9. Barkov, a point in 4 of his last 6. And Vladimir Tarasenko had a point in 3 of his last 4 heading into the trade. Give me the Panthers and the puck line to take care of business here against the Flyers. Give me Reinhart anytime goal. He's back, plus 140. And give me Vladimir Tarasenko to record a point, minus 105. That's just not priced correctly. Tarasenko, I get it. If he hadn't got a point in like 10 games, and was just playing horribly for Ottawa, and he came in here, maybe you could price him this way, but he has played very well for Ottawa. He's been one of the few forwards that's been consistent this year, playing on the third line for the most part. He's not on the third line anymore. He is going right to the top line to play with Sam Reinhart and Alexander Barkov, 2 players playing really well right now. Minus 105 is just ridiculous. I had to take that, of course. And that's what I did. So look for the Florida Panthers to take care of business here. And yeah, I mentioned before I didn't want them to win the President's Trophy, but I don't see how they don't win the President's Trophy. They're just so stacked from top to bottom, this Panthers team. Dun, dun, dun. Kuzmenko. All right, like Kuzmenko. Flyers money line. Okay. Flyers money line. Everyone's favorite game. It'll either be Flyers betters or Cats betters. I'll be saying F the Flyers. LOL. Yeah, there you go. Reinhardt anytime goal plus 130. You kind of gotta when he's back on it now. He's back on it. He had that brief stretch where he went cold a little bit, but he's back. Pass. Go Panthers. All right. Kuzmenko plus Coleman anytime point parlay. Just on fire, and Coleman faces former team. All right, you could look that way. As I said, I'm not looking towards Calgary very much. I think they start to go downhill fast. Couldn't help myself, Terry Reinhart anytime goal. Yes, let's go. You're on both? Yes, let's go. Verhaeghe 3+ shots versus Philadelphia. All right. And Verhaeghe playing on the second line with Sam Bennett and Matthew Tkachuk. So I wouldn't call that a demotion. He's still on a very good line for the Florida Panthers. If Bobrovsky's in net, give me the Flyers team total under 2.5. And tip it for Higgy 3+ shots. A parlay. All right. Best of luck. And when it comes to goaltenders in this game, thanks for reminding me. We'll see if we have any news. Dun, 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 dun. No, nobody's confirmed yet. And in the last game we talked about Flames and Tampa, Markstrom's not confirmed yet, but Vasilevsky is likely. So obviously, keep an eye on Daily Faceoff for line changes as well as goaltenders. Things can change a lot today and tomorrow, obviously with the trade deadline happening here. Crazy that Panthers got Tarasenko to an already stacked team. And crazy that they didn't have to give up basically anything. A third and a fourth, maybe 2/3, depending on how the Panthers do. But just an awesome trade for the Panthers. And Tarasenko, kind of like Adam Henrique, was on the third line for the Ottawa Senators, a team going nowhere, and now he's on the top line with the best team in the NHL. So definitely should see a extra step in Tarasenko's skates tonight. Anytime goal plus 270 is tempting to sprinkle. Yeah, I could see that. I'm hoping he gets an assist on a Reinhardt goal, but I could see him getting both. I could see him getting both tonight. But we'll move on along to our next one, which is between the Montreal Canadiens and the Carolina Hurricanes. Montreal plus 230 to plus 257. Carolina minus 294 to minus 310. Sixes right across the board here. I don't believe we have any goaltenders announced. Allow me to check. Samuel Montembeault confirmed for Montreal. Nobody yet confirmed for Carolina. How have these teams been doing recently? Montreal 2-5-2 in their last 9. 4 overs, no unders, 1 game finished with 6 goals. 3 games in a row for Montreal that they've gone to overtime. Carolina 2-2-1 in their last 5. 1 over, 4 unders, 1 game finished with 6 goals. How these teams done against each other in the past? Well, it's very one-sided. Carolina 15-1-1 in the last 17 games between the teams. Not a team that Montreal likes to go face. 3 of the last 4 games going over 6.5. And for me here, this one is no single play. So looking at parlay pieces, I'll get to here in a second, but for me, Carolina is just too big of a favorite here. To take the puck line at minus 120 is just not something I want to do. This Carolina team has been involved in very low scoring games. Carolina doesn't care if they win this game 2-1. They don't care if this game goes to overtime. They don't need to beat the Canadians by margin. So I'm not going to bet on them at that price to do that. So that's kind of my thoughts there. Looking at player props, Nick Suzuki has a goal in 4 of his last 5. If you're looking at somebody from Montreal, I would look at Nick Suzuki. For the Hurricanes, it's their top line. Teuvo Teravainen, a point in 4 straight games. Sebastian Aho, a point in 5 of his last 7. Andrei Svechnikov, a point in 6 of his last 8. And Svechnikov also has 3 shots on goal in 4 straight games. So if you're looking for parlay pieces, I would look at that top line for points. Nick Suzuki for the Canadiens. But side total in this game is a pass for me here. Pass, lean Montreal plus 1.5 in the draw. Yeah, I agree. Pass for Captain Bry as well. I agree. Jay Stone likes Carolina first period all day. I could see that. I could see them coming out strong in the first. Montembeault total saves over 29. You could look that way as well. Carolina loves to shoot the puck. We know that. But we'll go on along to our next game, and this one's really interesting, especially from price and past history and all that. We've got the St. Louis Blues plus 145 to plus 157, road dogs. New Jersey Devils minus 175 to minus 180, home favorites, 6.5s, right across the board in this game. Looking at goaltenders here, I don't believe we. Jordan Bennington likely for St. Louis. Nico Doss not confirmed for New Jersey. How these teams been doing recently? St. Louis has lost 8. They've lost 6 of their last 9 games. 3 overs, 4 unders, 3 games finished with 6 goals. New Jersey, they've lost 6 of their last 8. 5 overs, 1 under, 2 games finished with 6 goals. How have these teams done against each other in the past? Well, it's very one-sided. The St. Louis Blues, 15-2-1 in the last 18 games between the teams. For whatever reason, St. Louis loves to face the New Jersey Devils. 2 overs, 2 unders, 2 games finished with 6 goals in the last 6. And for me, kind of like the last game here, no single plays. I don't have any interest in betting the St. Louis Blues, but I could not take the Devils in this spot. The new coach bump obviously didn't happen, but when you face Florida, it's tough to get that new coach bump. I expect we will see the Devils start to play better, but this has just been a team that they just have struggled against. Um, so I don't think the Devils should be minus 180 favorites. I'd have to look at in regulation or on the puck line with the Devils, which I'm just not really interested here. With the total, I would look towards the over. But what if St. Louis trades Buchnevich, which is there's a lot of rumors about that happening. Pareko, what if they don't play because of trade reasons? I don't want to bet this over and then have St. Louis pull an Anaheim and rest a bunch of their offensive players. So this game is another one where it's kind of tough. Looking at player props, Robert Thomas has an assist in 7 of his last 10. He's gone cold in his last couple games. So don't have really any interest in betting him. For the Devils, Timo Meyer, a point in 5 of his last 6. Jack Hughes, a point in 4 of his last 5. Jesper Bratt, a point in 4 of his last 6. So I could potentially look at those three. Bratt and Hughes together on the second line, Meyer on the top line, unless anything's changed since I last looked. But this game is mostly a pass here for me. Dun, 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 dun. Game to go to overtime and the under. All right. Best of luck. Devils win. Pass. All right. Robert Thomas assist minus 115, a great price. And if the Devils are sorry, if the Blues are going to do anything offensively, then I would think that he would get an assist. Blues money line and team total over 2.5. Line way too wide in New Jersey here, and I agree. The line's wide enough to make me stay off, not enough to make me bet the Blues. But Binnington, the better goalie. New Jersey can't defend. New Jersey must score their way to victory. I'll take Benner total saves. St. Louis money line at Bratt, 3 shots on goal. All right. Best of luck. Devils having issues of late putting the puck in the net. Give me the Blues in the under 6.5. All right. Best of luck. Green is not a new coach, in my opinion. He's been behind that bench all season coaching their power play. He doesn't qualify as a new voice behind the bench, in your opinion. There you go. That's totally understandable. Devils team total over 3.5 minus 107 was available last night. That number is probably gone by now. Yeah. Probably that line has probably moved a lot. But best of luck to everyone in this game. Not one that I'll probably be betting on. Even as parlay pieces, I'll probably stay off. But the Toronto Maple Leafs head to Boston to face the Bruins. Short-term revenge here for the Leafs. Plus 120 to plus 127 for Toronto. Boston minus 140 to minus 145. Sixers right across the board. It does look like Bet 99 has a 5.5. If you were looking towards the total. Looking at goaltenders here, Jeremy Swayman likely for Boston. Nobody yet confirmed for Toronto. It should be Joseph Wall, but Samsonov has played very well lately. So we'll see who ends up getting confirmed. Of course, it is a second night of a back-to-back, but you never know. You never know. Looking at how these teams have done recently, Toronto has won 10 of their last 12 games. 7 overs, 2 unders, 2 games finished with 6 goals. Boston, 4, 3, and 6 in their last 13. So 4 wins, 3 losses, 6 overtime losses, 2 overs, 2 unders, 1 game finished with 6 in their last 5. Boston's won 6 in a row between the teams, 3 of the last 4 going to overtime. So we have seen close games between these teams, and 3 of the last 4 going under 5.5. So we've seen low scoring games as well. And not to pass on 3 straight games, but I'm passing on 3 straight games here. This one, I want to take Toronto at this price. I really do. But I don't like how Toronto plays against Boston. But the short-term revenge spot makes me lean towards Toronto. Second night of a back-to-back keeps me off. This game is just tough when it comes to side or total. Looking at player props, Nylander has a point in 11 of his last 12 games, at least 3 shots on goal and 6 in a row. Marner's got a point in 13 of his last 15. Matthews has a point in 9 of his last 11, at least 4 shots on goal in 7 of his last 8 games. Bobby McMahon has at least 3 shots on goal in 6 of his last 7. And then for Boston, the only player really that consistent is David Pastrnak, who's got a point in 3 of his last 5. So Bruins aren't really getting consistent offense right now. Low scoring game when these teams faced each other last. I want to say this game goes over, but I don't know. I could see another low scoring game. So basically a pass here. I'll probably have McMahon 3+ shots in a parlay, but I might stay away from the rest of the big guns for Toronto here in this one. Timo Meier anytime goal. Yeah, he's been heating up lately. But new coach. Pass this game, save your money. Yeah. I went against the Devils in there. I took the Florida Panthers. A lot of people says new coach, you have to bet them, but I'm not one of those people. So there you go. Pass. There you go. Sprinkle in the draw. I could see that. Nick likes the Leafs. Yeah, I lean with the Leafs, but I don't know. Toronto second period over 11 straight, 21 of the last 24. All right. So we could see some goals here in the second for Toronto. And yeah, it was a low scoring game, and then we got 2 goals in the second, and then that was basically it until overtime with yesterday. So back to back, expect Wool as they continue to try to get him back in a number 1 form for sure. Toronto first period plus 225 for the Leafs, so -0.5 in the first period. You could see that. Love playing first period for teams on back to back. All right, so you think they get out strong and then lose some gas in the end. First period money line plus 100. All right. Flip last game's outcome. So Leafs and over 6 for you. All right. Best of luck. Toronto continues to work on their defensive game, especially the forwards, under 6.5. And Toronto should have beat Boston previously. Yeah, but this Boston team just has Toronto's number. So that's enough to keep me off this game. Heading into our next one, Washington Capitals head to Pittsburgh to face the Penguins. This used to be such a great matchup 4 years ago. But now and for the next few years, probably, or in the next few years, we're going to be looking at this one kind of like how we look at Anaheim and San Jose in the next few years, in my opinion. Washington plus 140 to plus 142. Pittsburgh -158 to -170. 6.5s and 6s available here. Right off the bat, I can't take Pittsburgh at -170. Are you kidding me? First of all, I don't play -170s. So it would have to be a parlay piece or in regulation. Don't want to take in regulation, not between these teams. Don't have any interest in backing Washington. So you can probably guess where I'm going here. But we'll look at how these teams have done. Both teams 500 in their last stretch. 2-2-1 for Washington, 4-4-1 for Pittsburgh. 8 of the last 9 games for Washington have gone over 6.5. 5 of the last 6 for Pittsburgh have gone over 6.5. Both teams trending towards the over right now. Pittsburgh 3-1-1 in the last 5 between the teams, and 4 of the last 7 have gone over 6.5. So we have seen a lot of high-scoring games between these teams, and if I did have to pull the trigger, it would be on that over 6 at BetMGM for -120. But I haven't done that yet. I have not done that yet, but I'm leaning that way. I'm leaning towards the over here in this one. We'll probably wait to get closer to game time to see and make sure people are playing. I don't want any players not playing and hurting the over, so I'll wait till closer to game time. Dylan Strome has a 0.7 of his last 8 for Washington. Max Pacioretty a 0.6 of his last 8. John Carlson, a point in 4 of his last 5. And for Pittsburgh, their best line right now is Evgeny Malkin, a point in 6 of his last 8, and Riley Smith, a point in 4 of his last 6. Another reason why I'm waiting for the over here, Riley Smith is in some heavy trade rumors right now. So the last thing I want is to take this over and then have him not play. Pittsburgh already without obviously Gensel and Rust. So yeah, this is a game where I'm going to wait till closer to game time and see what's happening then. And most likely I'll find my way on the over 6 heading closer to game time. 1-800 Pens win pass. There you go. There you go. Over 6.5 plus 102 strong point. I like both of them. No way in hell Pittsburgh should be minus 165, but pass. Might take a stab with Washington. I agree with Nick. Everyone, let's help Terry. Let's help out Terry's channel. Hit the like button. Yes. Hit the like button if you enjoy the content. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button. That really helps out as well. And thank you to everyone watching. Pierre protests McMichael and Milano playing for contracts. Yeah, but none of them have been really hot enough for me to play recently. Pittsburgh playing for pension and retirement. Yeah, basically. When is the trade deadline? Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, I believe. 3, I think. Yeah, we'll see there. Kemper versus Jari. Shake my head over 6. Kemper is out. Is he? Because I saw him confirmed for this game. Thanks for reminding me about goaltenders. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, he was confirmed, but now he's unconfirmed. So we'll see what's happening there. Maybe IceX is correct. Tristan Jarry likely for this game, so he should be a net for this one. Game time decision. Illness. Yeah. Okay, so there. We don't even know what's in. Pens should trade 87. Now this could go into a whole long conversation. I did kind of get into an argument on Twitter there, but I won't go into that. I definitely think the Penguins should trade Crosby. Crosby, I get it. He loves Pittsburgh. He wants to play his career there. But do we really want to see Crosby for the next few years not make the playoffs? Do we really want to see him look as sad as he did in his last game? No. And for the Pittsburgh Penguins, they need prospects really badly. Trade Crosby to wherever he wants to go. Sit him down, have a conversation with him, trade him, start refilling that prospect pool. That's what the Penguins should do. If I was general manager of the Penguins, I would be sitting Crosby down and being like, listen, you should be in the playoffs. You're Sidney Crosby. I don't want to see you waste the rest of your career here. Let's trade you. Let's do the best thing for both sides and let's get it done. So that's what I would do. But whoa. I know. But Crosby to the Bruins, I just don't see that. If he was on the Hawks, yeah, I'd be fine. Yeah, Crosby's not going to Chicago. That would just be awful. Awful for him. Crosby to the Leafs? That's I could see him going to Canada. If Crosby went to Canada, that would be huge. That would really shake up things. That would be really interesting. Pens don't make that decision on 87. The decision is his. The contacts dictate who has control. Pittsburgh doesn't have control. I believe he has to at least have a list of teams, a small list. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, he's obviously not getting traded unless he agrees to it. But I would trade him. Funny, his number is 87. We have 87. Oh, now 88 live viewers. So there we go. That was funny for a second there. LOL. Nick. Yeah, because Nick's he's cool with the sad Crosby. He's had enough happiness. There you go. Being traded affects family life, and not all players care to impact their families. Maybe, but I don't know. If he wants to stay in Pittsburgh the rest of his career, if he's fine with never making the playoffs ever again, then that's his decision. If that's what he wants. Kind of hope Crosby pulls a Tavares and leaves when he's a free agent and Pittsburgh gets nothing. As people can tell, Nick is a New York Islanders fan, so he would like to see Pittsburgh misery. Crosby has 3 cups to his name already. I'm sure he's okay with that. Go help the Leafs win a playoff round. Hey, they won one last year. Rasmus Sandin, birthday point tonight. There we go. There we go. Something to look at. And he just signed that contract. So, yes, it could be a spot to look at Sandin here. But we'll move on along to our next game, which is between the Buffalo Sabres and the Nashville Predators. Buffalo plus 135 to plus 143. Nashville minus 155 to minus 165. 6.5s right across the board in this game here. Let's take a look at goaltenders and see, refresh to see if we have any news when it comes to goaltenders here, and we do not. Eric Comrie listed, UC Saros listed, nobody confirmed in this one. How these teams done recently? Buffalo 5-3 in their last 8, 2 of their last 3 going over 6.5. Nashville 8-0-1 in their last 9. Their 8-game winning streak ended in an overtime loss to Montreal, their last game. 2 overs, 1 under, 3 games finished with 6 goals. Nashville 5-4 in the last 9 games between the teams. 3 of the last 4 going over 6.5. When I look at this game, it's a pretty awful spot for the Buffalo Sabres. In Toronto last night against one of their rivals, now on a back-to-back, but they're having to travel to Nashville. Nashville all nice and rested here, waiting for them. And it says no single plays here, but I'm going to add Nashville in regulation. So ignore the no single plays. I'm adding Nashville in regulation. It's just a great price for them. Obviously, minus 155 in this game, so I'm assuming in regulations around plus 100. I don't have the odds up here, but I'll be adding it after the show. This Nashville team is playing well right now. And they did just add somebody in a trade. They did just add somebody in a trade today, Anthony Beauvillier, for a 5th-round pick. So not really, he hasn't played very well, but obviously with the Blackhawks. So I'm sure he'll be looking for a nice fresh start here with Nashville. Don't really think that moves the needle much. For Buffalo, the only player that was really consistent was Tage Thompson, getting at least 3 shots on goal, while he only got 2 yesterday. So that ended. Nobody really consistent for Buffalo right now. A lot of people consistent for Nashville. Philip Forsberg, a point in 6 games in a row, at least 3 shots on goal in 7 straight. Ryan O'Reilly is a point 5 games in a row. Gustav Nyquist has a point in 8 of his last 10. You could same game parlay those 3 all to get a point, all on the top line there. Roman Josi did not get a point in his last game, but has 1 in 5 of his last 6. At least 4 shots on goal in 4 of his last 6 games. And then Tommy Novak, a player I've been playing a lot, a point 11 of his last 14 for the Predators. And I would look at those guys here. So Nashville in regulation, Nashville player props, nobody really for Buffalo here in this one. Stromer birthday point. Okay, so they both have birthday. That's interesting. Look ahead tomorrow, Avs Wild over 6.5 plus 102 available on FanDuel right now. All right. I haven't really looked too much at tomorrow yet. Washington money line in the last game. All right. Preds puck line, says IceX. Lean Preds -1 if Comrie is confirmed. We'll most likely bet it. I agree. Tom Wilson anytime goal. All right. Captain Bryce says pass in this game. All right. I hate the Preds, but you're on the Preds puck line. Yeah, sometimes you got to back teams you hate. It's all about money. Predators team total over 3.5. It's hit in 8 of their last 9. The game it didn't. They had 3 goals, which was their last game versus the Canadiens. All right. The only thing that scares me about that is Buffalo has been playing well defensively and has been playing such low-scoring games. And we have seen the Sabres last year ride Devin Levi basically into the ground. Now he's in the AHL. But with the way Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen's been playing, it would not shock me to see Buffalo start him on the second night of a back-to-back here, which he could allow goals, but he's been so good that if Buffalo really thinks they have a shot at the playoffs, it wouldn't shock me to see him play again, which would scare me with that over. That top line has been humming. Yes, I agree. Ryan O'Reilly, Philip Forsberg, veterans who understand the playoff implications of this game. Buffalo to have Comley and net. Could possibly play Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen back-to-back. Check the game notes. Yes. Find out who's starting here. Regardless, even if it is Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, I'm still going to be on Nashville in reg. It just might scare me off goals happening in this game. But we'll move on along to our next game. The Minnesota Wild heading to Arizona. And while this is technically a road game, all Minnesota will hear all game long is "Let's go Wild," because the Wild fans really love to head to Arizona. Most the time for Arizona, you hear other teams being chanted, but the first game this year, literally, you could hear it clear as day, "Let's go Wild" in Arizona. So if that's not a sign Arizona needs to get moved, I don't know what is. But Minnesota minus 141 to minus 150. Arizona plus 120 to plus 127. Sixes right across the board in this game. We'll see what's happening with goaltenders. Karel Vejmelka confirmed for Arizona. Nobody yet confirmed for Minnesota. How have these teams been doing recently? The Wild 3-3 in their last 6. So playing 500, barely beat the San Jose Sharks. As I've said, the Wild season is over. I've already come to terms with that. Their season is over. They're not making the playoffs. That's just how it is. 5 overs, 2 unders, 1 game, finished with 6 goals. Arizona have lost 15 of their last 17 games. 7 overs, no unders, 2 games finished with 6 goals. Minnesota 15-4-1 in the last 20 games between the teams. 1 over, 3 unders, 1 game finished with 6 goals in the last 5. So we have seen some lower scoring games between these teams more recently, but I'm on the over 6 here. Even before seeing Vejmelka, but really it doesn't really matter. Arizona is flying over. They are playing over games right now. As I said, 7 of their last 9 have gone over 6 with 2 pushes. Minnesota, 5 of their last 8 over 6 with 1 push. These teams are just not playing defense right now. Krill the Thrill is playing very well right now. Loves to face the Arizona Coyotes. So I would expect a big night from Kaprizov here. Kaprizov will have a fellow Russian coming, the Wild signing Murat Gustadanov, who got his visa approved. So he'll most likely be here on the weekend. So that'll be a boost for the Wild when he does play and for Kaprizov, but doesn't affect this game. I like the over 6 here. I wouldn't touch a side in this game. Maybe if you like plus money, you could look at the Yotes. I do think the Wild win this game, but I don't think the Wild. I don't want to say they're not motivated to win this, but I think the players probably know that they're going to find themselves on the outside of the playoffs. So I want to take the Wild here, but I want to take Arizona. I like the over 6. I think we get goals on both sides here for this one. This is Nashville tonight. All right. Brandon Duhaime has been told he's been traded. Wow. Well, I knew that was coming. But yeah, he was prepared. He had double the suitcases everyone else did heading to Arizona today. It's sad to see him go, but he wasn't going to get re-signed. It makes sense to trade him to get something for him, especially with playoffs not happening. I hope the Wild got some kind of decent return. Believe. Oh, you believe he's been told? Okay, so it's not official yet. All right. Ironic timing. Yotes money line. Hey, if you like the plus money, Yotes money line with Vejmelka confirmed, you'll add the over 6. All right. Wild Coyotes. There you go. Basically, every team takes over Arizona. It's not a wild thing. Uh, yeah, that's true, and that's why they need to get moved. But you can really hear "Let's Go Wild" when they play. It's embarrassing. Over 6, I agree. Addison likes goals early, which I would love to see. I hate being on an over like yesterday and seeing a 0-0 first period. So the more goals early, the better for me. I think it's because they want to move Minnesota to Arizona so they can share the ice. Ah, ah, okay. Kaprizov anytime goal because he's an absolute professional. Love it. Elliott hearing Troy Stetcher to the Oilers. Interesting. Over 6 noted. Okay. Kaprizov anytime goal plus 105. I like it. And Duhaime trade is confirmed. There we go. I hope the Wild were able to get a second round pick. I'd be happy if they can at least get a second in that deal. That would be really nice, but we'll see what happens. Feel free to let me know what the return is. Looking at player props for this game, Minnesota. Not a lot of the people consistent right now. Obviously, Kirill Kaprizov, a point in 9 of his last 12, 3 shots on goal in 11 straight games. So Kaprizov is getting at least 3 shots every game, finding a way to get on the score sheet. I do like him to score tonight. For Arizona, Matthias Michelli, a point 6 of his last 7. Um, Arizona, again, not a lot of people really on big heaters right now. So um, not a lot of props for me, but I do like goals. So we'll see where they come from tonight. Going on along to our third with 3 more games to go, and then the parlay of the day. Vancouver Canucks and the Vegas Golden Knights. Vancouver minus 105 to plus 102. Vegas minus 113 to minus 115. Sixes, there is a 5.5 available here. No goaltenders announced. It should be Demko against Aiden Hill. But as I said, no goalies have been announced. How have these teams been doing recently? Vancouver, 3-1-1 in their last 5 games. 1 over, 3 unders, 1 game finished with 6 goals. This Canucks team is focusing on defense. They are focusing on their defense, and they are winning games because of that recently. Vegas, 1-5-1 in their last 7 games. So they've lost 6 of their last 7. 6 of their last 7 games going over 7.5. Vegas is scoring goals, but they are giving up a ton of goals right now. Vegas 6-2-1 in the last 9 meetings between the teams. 3 overs, 1 under, 2 games finished with 6 goals. And I'm taking the Canucks. I'm on the Canucks here. I really like how this Canucks team is playing recently. Vegas on the other side, their losing is I do think is going to stop. I do think the new additions are going to help Vegas, but I'm not even sure who's playing tonight. But I don't think it's going to help them right away. So this is the spot where I think the new additions might not help out right away. But I do like Vegas to turn things around here. Um, just not in this game. So Canucks money line, great price. I know Vegas has played well against them, but current form, this Canucks team is just in much better form. So I'll take them here in this one. Looking at player props, JT Miller a point in 8 straight games. Brock Besser a point in 7 of his last 8. Quinn Hughes a point in back-to-back games. For Vegas, Marchessault a point in 5 of his last 6, and Marchessault and Shea Theodore both have an assist. Marchessault in 5 of his last 6, Shea Theodore in 6 of his last 7. So both finding ways to assist on goals recently for the Vegas Golden Knights. Laughing. Okay. Yeah. First period over 1.5 goals. We'll see. We'll see. I just don't know about a total here. Elliot just quoted tweet, believe the trade is to Colorado? Ah, no, really? Well, that kind of sucks, but so Colorado's loading up on former Wild players to try to go for the cup. Interesting. Shea Theodore assist plus 135. I like that. I do think he can probably find the score sheet, but Vancouver's playing such good defense right now, so I'm not sure. Pass. Hearing with their LTR money, the Vegas have acquired Jesus Christ to play on their top line. Wow, there you go. There you go. Laughing. Is this an over? Aiden Hill hasn't fixed himself yet. That's for sure. Mantha anytime point. Eichel had his first game back, burn already, so should be good to go. Hughes anytime assist. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Vegas has been playing terrible. Some of their stars injured. Stanley Cup hangover. Canucks win by 2. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it. With Vegas, yes, they're making a lot of additions, but I want to see what this team does down the stretch. If they can get hot again and go into the playoffs hot, then get Mark Stone back. Um, we could see a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup final. That's definitely possible. But 2 games left, and then we'll get to the parlay of the day. Our next one here: Ottawa Senators, Los Angeles Kings. Ottawa plus 150 to plus 170. LA minus 180 to minus 185. 6.5s right across the board here. Has Anton Forsberg against Cam Talbot listed. Nobody confirmed for this game. How these teams been doing recently? Ottawa's lost 5 games in a row. We obviously discussed at the beginning of the show the disaster for them last night. 3 overs, 2 unders, 1 game finished with 6 goals. LA 3-3-1 in their last 7. No overs, 3 unders, 5 games finished with 6 goals. LA 5-0-1 in the last 6 meetings between the teams. 1 over, 6 unders, 1 game finished with 6 goals. So we've seen a lot of low scoring games between these teams, especially with LA recently as well. Has been playing really low scoring games, and we're seeing a 6.5. So I am tempted with the under, but Ottawa played so bad yesterday, and now everyone and their mother is going to be probably taking the Kings puck line. And I could see Ottawa coming out here and just surprising everyone with a win. So this game, fortunately, is a no single plays game for me here. Looking at player props, probably not getting into anything in this one at all. Shane Pinto, a point in 3 of his last 5. Drake Batherson, a goal in 4 of his last 6. Kevin Fiala, a goal in 6 of his last 8. At least 3 shots in goal in 5 of his last 6. And Anze Kopitar, point assist in 5 of his last 7 for the LA Kings. So nobody really, like, yes, they're playing well, but most of those players, I think all 4 actually, did nothing in their last game. So we'll see if they can jump back here, but this game is one that I would pass on today's slate. Scroll back. Zucker and Dumba to be traded out of Arizona, possibly. Probably to Arizona, probably to Colorado. Fill up on former Wild players. Sorry, Terry, my first period over was for the last game, not the Canucks Vegas. Okay, no worries. Krona confirmed for San Jose tonight. Interesting. Sens money line. I could see it, but not putting my money on it. Vegas is so unpredictable, and when they shut the bed, or when they shit the bed versus actually playing well. Yeah. Just kidding. LOL. Under 6.5 for this game. I'd lean that way. LA puck line done. Should happen. Kings puck line should happen, but I don't know. Corona is New York's weakness. I face. Okay. Under 6.5. 8 of the last 10 Kings games have been under 6. 6 straight home games have been under. Yeah, I do lean that way. I do. LA -2. Okay. So you think they take care of business? Yep, that's why I passed. Ottawa on the road. I think I'll bet the goal in first 10, 23-4 in the season. There you go. Goal in first 10. There you go. Senators are bummed they lost Tarasenko. They missed him last night, that's for sure. Yeah, they missed any kind of offense last night. Kaprizov anytime goal price increased from plus 105 to plus 100. So losing value as the show goes on. Maybe one of the 94 or the 95 people watching decided to bet Kaprizov, and that's why the line moved. But 4-1 LA exact score, plus 1800. I could see that. I could see that. But we'll move on along to our final game of the night, and then, of course, the parlay of the day. Final game is between the New York Islanders, fighting for their playoff lives, minus 260 to minus 275. San Jose, plus 215 to plus 230. Sixes right across the board here in this game. As Nick said, Corona is confirmed for San Jose and played pretty well in his first game there, I believe, against the Dallas Stars. And now we'll get his second game here against the Islanders. How these teams been doing recently? The Islanders 5-2 in their last 7, so starting to heat up, trying to get into a playoff spot. 2 overs, 2 unders, 3 games finished with 6 goals. San Jose have lost 8 games in a row, 6 overs, 2 unders, 1 game finished with 6 goals. How these teams done against each other in the past? The Sharks have done pretty well, 5-3 in the last 8 between the teams. 4 of the last 7 have gone to overtime. So we usually see close games between these teams. 3 of the last 4 going over 6.5 between these teams. And not to pass again, but again, final game of the night. No single plays for me here. I do like Matthew Barzal to get a point, which is a great parlay piece. Obviously, the price is not anything to bet singly. But he's got a point 13 of his last 14 games. He's really enjoyed having Patrick Waugh as his coach because Barzal has been extremely consistent since Patrick Waugh took over. Brock Nelson, a goal in 5 of his last 8 games, at least 3 shots on goal in 9 of his last 11. Dobson's got an assist in 4 of his last 5. And then for the Sharks, Mikael Granlund, Anthony Duclair, both have points in 3 of their last 4 games here. And I do like the Islanders to win. I just don't like the price. I would have to take them on the puck line, but with the history here, especially the overtime history, again, the Islanders don't care if they go to overtime and win this game. They don't need to win by margin. They just need to get points. So a pass here for me, basically, on the last game. I can see a world where the Kings win this game 5-1 and it stays under. All right. Best of luck. Please, Sharks win. Okay. IceX wants the Sharks to win. Nick leans San Jose plus 1.5 in the draw, but pass. Why not draw plus 400? I don't know. Duclair, yes, he's been great recently. Nick Sprinkle, boom, we did it. Thank you everyone for watching. 101 live viewers right now. First time ever we've gone over 100. Thank you everyone so much. I really appreciate it. That's awesome. Bo Horvat, shots on goal. Let's go. Sharks top 3 team in the league for shots on goal against. Yeah, they don't play much defense there. Lean Sharks puck line. Patrick Waugh has this team play more offensive and shooting more. So goalie save prop for San Jose or Horvat or Palmieri shots on goal. Yeah, Palmieri's definitely shot a lot since Waugh has taken over. Ugly game here, especially with the history between these teams. Shake my head. I agree. Ugly game. But that's today's slate. I'm going to go to the parlay of the day, and I'm switching things up here. So no player props for today's parlay of the day. I am going with a money line parlay. So Edmonton Oilers and the Nashville Predators both to win their games tonight is plus 123 on Bet365, or at least it was when I made the graphics here. So Oilers money line, Nashville money line, plus 123 for the parlay of the day. Both teams playing really well recently. Nashville obviously getting Buffalo on the second night of a back-to-back with travel. The Oilers in Columbus. What else needs to be said there? So this is the parlay of the day. Boom, go Terry, you're blowing up. Yeah, I appreciate everyone watching. I appreciate it a lot. Let's go, Terry. Yes, let's go. Hoping for a good night tonight. But that's today's show. Thank you everyone for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button. Appreciate all the support. And small slate tomorrow, but we'll be here to break it down. And yeah, hell yeah, props in the viewers milestone. Great show. Thank you, PJ. Much appreciated. 100 nice work. I just pressed the like button. Thank you, Jay Stone. Kings Panthers Oilers plus 182 for Captain Bry. All right, I like it. Terry and 101 friends. Yeah, Terry and 102 friends. Great show today. Best of luck. All small slates matter. Yes, they do. Thanks and best of luck. Congrats, T. Yes, thank you guys. And we'll see you guys tomorrow on another episode. Getting well with Terry and friends. Free NHL picks. Best of luck to everyone tonight. See you guys.